Matter moments. Thursday edition of the show. We're getting our channels live now. We're live on my Facebook page, JDubs. Live on Twitter as well. Headlines will be up shortly. If you can, when you get them in, let the viewers and listeners know when they're up.
The headlines are up.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Judah. A good Q&A on news on the Virginia Today media platform, the UVA Today media platform, on the acting UVA president. I'll relay some of those highlights to you on the Thursday edition of the show. Curious which headline is most intriguing to you, Judah. I'll ask you that in a matter of moments. Did we cover everything from yesterday?
I think so. We may have missed something from... I think we never got to talk about Home Depot being the flagship of Rio 29 plan a couple days ago.
Maybe we lead with that. Even though it's not a headline, you can put that in... could you put that lower third on screen to start the show?
All right.
One of the most significant and important developers, Home Depot, ladies and gentlemen. Things look good on our end. Are we live on the group?
We soon will be.
Okay, let me know when we're live on I Love CVille group. We are live on Twitter. And I'll confirm YouTube here in a matter of moments, and a conversational show with us. Viewers and listeners, join us in the discussion, please.
Group is live.
Group is live. Fantastic. Thank you, Judah. Which headline most intrigues you today?
I think it's pretty baffling that Winsome Earl Sears has been using a campaign manager with absolutely no political experience.
Yeah, what the hell, dude? How much does Spanberger beat Winsome Earl Sears by? Double-digit percentage points? Remember, I said in the Jack Jewett district, the Democrat was going to win by double-digit percentage points. Well, I guess they were both Democrats, and that proved to be correct.
The fundraising gap certainly is provocative.
What is the fundraising gap? Sally Duncan hammered her opponent, Dave Shreve. But what's the fundraising gap? In fact, let's have that conversation on the show. Is it significant?
Oh, yeah.
What's the number?
Spanberger's raised about $27 million. Earl Sears has raised about $11 million.
Ay, mi madre.
Yeah.
Ay, mi madre. All right, we can rock and roll. Is AI going to make CVille a better or worse place? I'm most intrigued by that headline. All right, let's rock and roll when you're ready.
Quiet on the set.
Welcome to the I Love CVille show, guys. My name is Jerry Miller. Good Thursday afternoon to you. Thank you kindly for joining us on the program. A lot we want to cover today. We will talk real estate development with Home Depot, primed and positioned to be a key developer of a very important gateway in Albemarle County. Home Depot, by now you've heard, opening in the Fashion Square Mall location. A redevelopment project that includes demolishing the former Sears and creating 134,262 square feet of home improvement store space. We're very close to opening. Have you driven near, around, or close to Home Depot, viewers and listeners? If you're in that area, I encourage you to do so. It is very close to opening. This is a significant project. $26 million invested into the property, more than 100 new jobs, tax breaks, and Home Depot trusted or accounted to, relied to redevelop the old Red Lobster restaurant as well. This gateway, a prime gateway into Albemarle County from the northern feeder pattern. I'm going to ask you, is this project as significant a project that Albemarle County has seen in some time? And the reliance on Home Depot to make this gateway a thing of improved planning. What's your take on that? How do you stand on that? That conversation on today's show. We're going to talk on the program, ladies and gentlemen, about Winsome Earl Sears, a governor that has a new campaign manager. Some would say it's eyebrow raising to replace your campaign manager just a couple of months before a November governor election. But that's what the Republican candidate has done. We'll have that conversation on today's show. I will make a crystal ball prediction. If you watch the program, we feel our crystal ball is pretty darn accurate. From my standpoint, Spanberger looks like a cruise control double-digit percentage point victor in this governor's race. Luna Labs is expanding. I woke up to an email from Conan Owen, the CEO of Sir Speedy, about the expansion plans for Luna Labs in the city. 20 new jobs created from Luna Labs as it expands. This is a pretty big deal for a company that is a launch pad for early stage biotech and defense ideas. Biotechnology in the city of Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Remember those phrases, those terms, that sentence. Biotechnology in the city of Charlottesville and Albemarle County, and the impact that biotechnology will have in the next 24 months. We'll unpack that on the Thursday edition of the I Love CVille show. We're going to talk artificial intelligence and whether we think, you think, that AI will make Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia a better place or a worse place. I'm torn on this topic. Judah Wickower, a two-shot studio camera and a two-shot as we welcome you to the program. Goodness gracious, the governor, the candidate for governor, replaces her campaign manager. She handpicks an initial campaign manager that's a preacher that doesn't have any politics experience and now has to make an announcement that there's a new campaign manager just a few months before an election. That is not a good headline for a party that is embattled at best. I continue to be pestered and peppered with requests from John Reed's campaign for the candidate to join us on this program. I'm not sure how I feel about that after being stood up by candidate Reed when turmoil hit his campaign. Now they want to come back on after standing us up 24 hours before the interview. A lot we're going to cover on the show. What intrigues you the most and why?
I'm definitely intrigued by the fact that Winsome Earl Sears has been using a campaign manager with no political experience. I feel like that's a pretty major misstep.
Faux pas, misstep, mistake.
Definitely, and I'd love to know more about Home Depot and the plans that surround the upcoming area there. I know they've got at least I've read about some pretty interesting ideas, but I haven't seen anything that makes me think that anyone has a solid plan in place.
Well, I mean, massive hardware store.
Yeah.
100+ new jobs.
But they're talking about mixed-use green spaces, walking, business, housing, which would
revitalizing the former Red Lobster.
Yeah. That too.
A lot of wasted space there.
I'm sure there is.
We'll talk about it on the show. The city basically begging Judge Worrell to reconsider a judgment.
Yeah.
Gentry Locke on their knees begging
Apologizing.
for missed deadline forgiveness, citing past legal precedent where the judge did not need to toss the case because of this misfiling deadline.
Yeah.
This story does not go away, Judah.
Nope.
What do you make of this?
I mean, there's not really anything else they could have done. They obviously have no intention of changing the zoning code, so they're just going to throw everything they have at getting it reinstated.
I agree with you. I think they have some last steps. The last steps are go to the judge, beg for forgiveness. The problem with the judge offering forgiveness in this case is it would further cloud the conflict of interest storyline. If he's tossed the case because of a misfiling deadline,
Yeah.
the plaintiffs celebrated. Now the city goes to the judge and say, please forgive us for missing this deadline. There's past precedent where you could basically allow this to move forward.
Yeah.
If the judge allows it to move forward and second guess his first decision, plaintiffs, people like you and me, folks in this community will point to conflict of interest. He lives in the city. He owns a home in the city. His wife is a housing advocate. She pushed for the new zoning ordinance prior to the new zoning ordinance even becoming a reality.
I don't really think that argument holds up anymore. Whether
You have a change of heart on this?
No, I don't think I've ever had a particular opinion about it. There's a look. There's it might not be the best look that his wife is a zoning advocate, but the fact of the matter is, I believe he's shown himself to be fairly impartial here, and he's a judge, and that's his job. And if I think if there were a chance that that this entire thing would be thrown out or taken to a higher court because of his association with his wife, I think we would have heard more about it before now. I think at this point, the judgments that he's made show that he's fairly impartial about this and isn't afraid to to make a decision based on which side of the court the law lands on.
I'll give you my take in a matter of moments. Put the lower third on screen. First, we'll give some love to Conan Owen and Sir Speedy. Sir Speedy of Central Virginia is locally owned and operated by a Darden School graduate named Conan Owen. If you have a logo, they can find an application for it. This banner directly behind me, the step and repeat banner courtesy of Sir Speedy. Window decals, signage, branding, graphic design, direct mail, you name it, Sir Speedy can do it. Locally owned and operated by Conan Owen. In Arlington County, Judah, multiple judges recused themselves from presiding over a radical zoning ordinance case because of conflict of interest of owning a home in Arlington County. Right?
Yeah.
In this case, in Charlottesville, the judge owns a home in the city. And on top of that, he's got a wife who's a huge housing advocate, housing evangelist, housing activist that's trying to push the new zoning ordinance through. If there was conflict of interest in Arlington strictly from owning a home in Arlington County, well, you have that in Charlottesville. Then you have the additional wrinkle of the spouse pushing what the judge is presiding over through.
So do we then say that any judgment he makes is suspect?
I've said that all along.
Even
All
if
along,
it's-
I've said he should have recused himself from this.
Right.
All along, I've said that.
But he hasn't, and we've got a lawyer on city council, and
Defense attorney.
Yeah, and there's no outcry. There's no outcry from city council. There's no outcry from I just sure. it is an argument that that he may not be impartial. Does that throw uncertainty on? Does that throw uncertainty on the current judgment?
I'll leave that for the public to decide. Let's go to comments that are already coming in quickly. Number one in the family, Deep Throat. His photo on screen. He says, I do not understand the city's legal strategy. Why motion for reconsideration? Right now, the city can try to simply repass the ordinance.
Yeah.
The court has made no factual determinations. But if the city wins the motion for reconsideration, that would just mean a trial in a year. For the next year, what developer would put a shovel in the ground with a trial pending? A trial could end in a judgment that makes it substantially harder for the city to simply repass the ordinance. Not to mention the fact that Worrell is a prickly fellow, very unlikely to grant the request, and much more likely to become annoyed with Gentry Lock in the city. But then again, Deep Throat says, the city's legal strategy has never made sense. Deep Throat adds, Jerry is right that the potential conflict applies either way Worrell comes down. You can say he is biased because of his wife's advocacy, but even if he judges for the plaintiffs, you could say he was overreacting to avoid the perception of bias. Mm-hmm. That's my point.
Right. I thought of that.
He's in a terrible spot.
Yeah.
And he put himself in this spot by not doing what they did the judges did in Arlington County.
Yeah.
He's in a lose-lose position. Mm-hmm. The biggest loss or the biggest lose position would be him saying to the city, to Gentry Lock, to the plaintiffs, okay, I've second-guessed myself. I'll give you grace and forgiveness with this missed filing deadline. We can proceed forward. Well, then we don't know until 2026.
Well, I think Deep Throat is right in that would be the biggest loss for everyone involved.
That would be...
Because then, like he said, right now, the default judgment isn't about the whether or not the zoning code is legal.
It's about a misfiling deadline.
Yeah, and yeah, if the judge decides to let them go ahead, then we have potentially a year more of court cases, uncertainty, and the city risks, like he said, the eventual judgment being, throwing out the zoning code because of its legality, not just because of because of a misfiling. And now they're back to square one, where they can't just try to repass the zoning code. They've got to fundamentally change it.
That's why I said,
which I think they should do anyways.
We both think they should anyway. Or they
take
go
what you've learned in a year and a half. Go
and
back
learn
to the
from
drawing
it.
Board. Doesn't mean you got to scrap the entire thing.
Learn from it.
Rewrite the parts that are
radical.
Yeah.
Infuriating. Go to the plaintiffs that are suing you and tying you up in court and ask them, what is it that you want from us that will help you reconsider this lawsuit?
Yeah.
This is just basic business. Go to the people that are in opposition to you and figure out what they want and give them part of it, so you can get what you want, and everyone wins.
Yeah.
Everyone wins. It's baffling to me what's happening here. And the longer this stays in the news cycle, on our minds on this program, where all of print, radio, and television is watching us right now in local media, the longer this is going to cause uncertainty for developers.
And I'm still baffled that in a year and a half, not a single person has had a thought as to how this could be written better.
Yeah. And I don't put this at the feet of council. I put this at the feet of staff. Council relies on staff for guidance here.
Yeah. Because they're not all zoning code experts.
Are they? Should they be? But are they?
I mean, we can take a look at the 5 council members. I'm fairly certain that
none of them are.
They may have done some reading.
Elliot Harding watching the program, defense attorney, his photo on screen. Aaron King, welcome to the broadcast. Bob Shada, hello, thank you for watching. Lottie Murray, Georgia Gilmer, Kevin Yancey, Chad Wood, Greg Bartlesky, Jehu Martin. Elliot Harding says this: the biggest issue is the outside counsel that blew the filings. Cities should call that into question and seek alternative representation, in my opinion. I'm most interested in the outcome. Do we expect the city to enforce a less inclusive code against developers who relied on the code that the city itself wants to have in place? I'll give it to you again, Judah. Do we expect the city to enforce a less inclusive code against developers who relied on the code that the city itself wants to have in place? Elliot, we love when you watch the program. Nora Gaffney, thank you for watching the show. Believe talented realtor Josh White watching the program. Look, the longer the story stays in the news cycle, the more uncertainty is created. The more uncertainty that is created, the less likely development will happen. The less likely development will happen means housing prices will continue to escalate. There's a rental property on Perry Drive in North Downtown, across from the baseball field, across from the baseball stadium, that's next to the county office building. You know where I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The baseball stadium next to the county office building. Mm-hmm. Across from the baseball stadium is a road called Perry Drive. There's a duplex there. 20 years ago, my girlfriend at the time rented that duplex with a roommate. I was staying there all the time at her house. Fantastic duplex. You drive by this Perry Drive duplex now, and it's been completely gutted. Completely gutted. It's been revamped on the outside, remodeled completely to the inside. It looks beautiful, this duplex. The rental requirements for this duplex, which is super tiny, 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, very tiny kitchen. We're talking barely 1,000 square feet, probably less than that. The rental requirements for this is an income, combined income of well over $8,000 for one side of the duplex, for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. They're asking for nearly $3,000 a month in rent. They want fantastic credit score. They want combined income of over $8K a month.
Wow.
They want all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. You will have more of these asks and more of these requests and more of this type of housing stock unless something is done. Mm-hmm. And the longer this story is in the news cycle, the longer we're going to have housing that's expensive like this. City can't get out of its own way.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Home Depot headline, put that on screen. John Blair's got a comment on this. I will mention one more time on Home Depot. I would encourage anyone in Central Virginia, Charlottesville, Albemarle County to drive by the Home Depot. It is very, very close to opening right now.
It's looking good.
Have you been recently?
Yeah, not too long ago.
It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I hope Home Depot raises the bar for all hardware locally. I encourage you to shop locally at like a Martin's Hardware.
Definitely.
B, the Lowe's across the street on Route 29 is god-awful. If you've shopped at the Lowe's on Route 29, you know what I'm talking about. The customer service is terrible. The return policy on equipment that breaks is horrendous. Home Depot across the street competition is great for all of us and is going to force Lowe's to raise its game. We're talking 134,000 square foot home improvement store, 26 million plus invested into this location, and more than 100 new jobs, and it's a couple of weeks away from opening. Mm-hmm. John Blair's comment, his photo on screen. One of the more interesting aspects of the Home Depot project is that at one time, the idea of redevelopment included Fashion Square and Albemarle Square, as well as some other nearby parcels. Given Albemarle Square's reinvigoration and Home Depot's arrival, I have to think that the idea of a large mixed-use community is scotched. Also, give the owners of Albemarle Square some credit. 5 years ago, it felt semi-abandoned with Fresh Market leaving. Now it's got a lot fewer vacancies. All of Route 29 has improved its vacancies. During the pandemic, COVID, and coming out of the pandemic, Route 29 was a ghost town. Rio Hill had points of concern, the Rio Hill Shopping Center.
Yeah.
Seminole Square had points of concern. Albemarle Square, points of concern. Fashion Square Mall was a ghost town. Shoppers World had points of concern. Look at 29 now. It's completely revitalized. Seminole Square's done a complete about face. You have pickleball epicenter, CVille Smash, very near opening. We did that interview on the show a couple of weeks ago. You have, what's Dr. Halpert's business? Coco's Adventure Central, an indoor entertainment center geared for kids, going to open next to CVille Smash. You have Home Depot opening. It's done a completely about face Route 29. And it's going to even get stronger once Home Depot finishes its project. It's going to revitalize that entire small area. Okay. Red Lobster. And I'm going to ask the viewers and listeners this question. Is there a more important gateway into Albemarle County than that Rio 29 gateway? That Rio 29 gateway into Albemarle County from the north into the urban ring is it not the most significant? It's more significant than the Pantops Gateway, right? East of town.
Yep.
Southeast of town, what is it? The 5th Street, Avon Extended, it's more significant than that. West of town, what's the entry point there? Ivy, there's not really any development there.
No.
More significant than North Garden, Pippin Hill, Crossroads. That's the most significant gateway into Albemarle County. And look at what it's done in the last 5 years, from ghost town to revitalization. Pretty significant. Got to give props where props are due to supervisors, Lonnie Murray, maybe planning commissioners, to real estate owners. Bill McChesney watching the program. He says, I've gone to Zion's Crossroads and Ruckersville Lowe's with good results. I think the Zion's Crossroads Lowe's is the best of all of them. And there's some anthropology or sociology experiment there. The Zion's Crossroads Lowe's is staffed with country folk. And the customer service you get from the Zion's Crossroad Lowe's and the experience and know-how and nuance is vastly more impressive than the Lowe's on Route 29.
Interesting.
I don't know the Ruckersville Lowe's. I never go that way. But I can tell you from many experiences that Route 29 Lowe's and Zion's Crossroads Lowe's are completely different. Elliot Harding adds this, I'm excited for Lowe's to have some competition. I'd say it's the most important gateway because it's my barrier of how far north I'm really willing to go. Yes, important as an entry point, but a lot of locals hate going north of Rio Road. I don't go north of Barracks Road.
That's fair.
I try not to go north of Barracks Road, folks.
Well, you're on
Ivy side of town.
Yeah.
Ivy side of town. And I'm very, maybe linear is not the right word, but very, specific in my travel especially during the workday.
You're very as the crow flies aware.
100%. I've just not wasted my time doing stuff that I don't need to do that's taking me away from work on a Monday through Friday standpoint. Dave Butler watching the program. This might be Dave's first comment. He says, Waynesboro, Lowe's, Home Depot set the standard for customer service. 100%. I think there's some kind of anthropology or sociology study waiting to happen where a Brad Wilcox of the UVA sociology department, although he focuses on marriage, but some kind of sociologist says, why is the customer service at Lowe's Zion's Crossroads or Lowe's Waynesboro vastly superior to the customer service at Lowe's Route 29? It's the hiring pool.
Could be.
Next headline, what do you got, Judah Wickhauer?
Get to know UVA's acting president.
There's a great Q&A on UVA Today on J.J. Wagner. You're talking about, goodness gracious, what a power player. J.J. Wagner is the acting UVA president. They ask J.J., what does J.J. stand for? She says J.J. stands for Jennifer Jeannie. She says, in my second year at Penn State, there were at least 4 Jennifers living on the same floor in our dorm. Back in those days, we had a communal phone that everyone on the floor used to call home. When my dad would call and ask to speak to Jennifer, he got tired of having to explain which one, so he started asking for JJ, and it stuck. Penn State undergrad. JJ, a nickname given to her by her dad when he's trying to call his daughter when she's in the dorm. I didn't know that. They ask her, what are exactly the duties of an acting president? She answers, UVA has a continuity of operations plan which goes into effect in the absence of the university president. The plan designates the executive vice president and chief operating officer to serve as acting president until the Board of Visitors selects an interim president. These are my words now. UVA has a deadline of 5 o'clock tomorrow where the public can help nominate the interim president for UVA. I continue to push Ken Elzinga as the interim president. So right now, JJ is filling a role. Listen to some of the responsibilities she has. She's managing a $6.5 billion operating budget. She has not just the acting president role, but she is a role as executive vice president and COO. Again, the $6.5 billion yearly operating budget. Mm-hmm. She leads the team to oversee a $2 billion with a B capital construction program. She administers human resources and payroll services for 30,000 employees.
Yep.
I mean, this is so significant, this power player. And I will say this, she's been thrown into the fire here at UVA after spending 20 years working in state government in Delaware before moving over to higher education. Mm-hmm. And props to JJ. I think she's done this with grace.
Yeah. Sounds like she's got a firm grasp on how to handle things. I like that she mentions that she was a volleyball player and she's used to team sports, and that this is no different. It's just a chance to pull in staff members that can help her accomplish the tasks that she needs accomplished, and delegate authority.
Her passions are hiking with her family, volunteering at the Wildlife Center of Virginia in Waynesboro. Her favorite animals to care for are baby bats and owls.
Nice.
The Q&A really humanized J.J. Wagner.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the read. It's on news.virginia.edu, ladies and gentlemen. I thought it was a humanizing read.
Yeah.
And before we get off this topic, we'll highlight yet again that 5 of UVA's 8 most important positions, 6 actually with Colette Sheehy and the UVA Foundation, as John Blair pointed out early this week, are currently vacant. President and provost, CEO of UVA Health, Dean of the Medical School, CEO of the hospital, Colette Sheehy's position at the foundation. 6 of the 8 most important positions are currently vacant. And still the Board of Visitors of UVA has not held an in-person meeting.
Troublingly silent.
What is going on? Next headline, what do you got?
Let's see, Luna Labs.
Guys, we've emphasized to you over the last probably 3 years, coming out of the pandemic, we started emphasizing that biotechnology was going to dramatically revolutionize Charlottesville and Albemarle County. Mm-hmm. And it's 100% proving to be correct. I am being told by people with checkbooks in their hands that biotechnology and data science will uptick the population somewhere between 5,000 and 8,000 people. Incremental new people outside this area with six-figure plus salaries. There was a ribbon cutting with Luna Labs. Juan Diego Wade, the mayor, was at the ribbon cutting. This ribbon cutting, ladies and gentlemen, happened yesterday. And at this ribbon cutting, Luna Labs CEO James Garrett indicated that how many new jobs are going to be hired, Judah? 20 new jobs from Luna Labs and its expansion.
Yeah.
The expansion and the space expansion is going to support drug delivery for cancer treatments, PTSD diagnostics, and military tools. They're also working with city and state programs, Luna Labs, and universities to strengthening the hiring and training in Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
When the Biotech Institute, the Paul Manning on Fontaine, is finished, you're going to see an ecosystem not just of academics and biotechnology, but you're going to see an ecosystem of private business latching on to the talent coming out of the Biotech Institute, the Paul Manning namesake institute.
And there are also connections between the biotech and defense industries, including
100%.
including Luna Labs.
And complementary synergies with biotechnology and data science and the defense sector.
Yeah.
This is going to very quickly be a top 5 economy driver. Next headline, what do you got?
AstraZeneca.
That's your headline.
Yep. We've got AstraZeneca bringing somewhere around $50 billion to Virginia. There is still some question about where they're going to land. Youngkin has sealed a deal with AstraZeneca on building a factory, but we're not sure if it's coming to Charlottesville, going to Richmond, going to Petersburg. Still, it's definitely a major investment in Virginia.
What interests you the most?
I mean, money, bringing money to our state, bringing just like Luna Labs, bringing innovation, bringing jobs.
AstraZeneca, a British-Swedish multinational pharmaceutical and biotechnology company.
Yep.
Next headline, what do you got?
Let's see. Dominion. Dominion is asking for special data center rates.
Anything that Dominion asks for, break-wise, relief-wise, whoever they ask of that break or relief should immediately say no and not even consider what they have to say.
Are you sure?
Set the table.
Well, as we've spoken about before, data centers are. Virginia is the data center of the United States.
The data center capital of the world.
Yeah.
Of the actual world. There are more data centers in Northern Virginia than anywhere in the world.
Because of the connection at Virginia Beach, all the data flows through Virginia from across the ocean. So we have a massive number of data centers, and it's growing, and everybody wants to build them. And the problem is that for the places where they're built, it is, in one regard,
An enormous water suck.
well, no, I was going to say it's a financial benefit due to the way that data centers are taxed.
It's a huge tax revenue source.
Yeah.
They don't employ a lot of people. Because they don't employ a lot of people, they're not utilizing or they're not demoralizing or taxing roads or infrastructure or schools.
Yeah.
They just open up a wallet and give whatever jurisdiction they're in a lot of tax revenue.
Right, and as I said, it's outsized proportionally because it's not based on area. It's based on the amount of technology that's inside the area, and so for every what do you call them? For every server mainframe that they have in there, it ticks up how much tax revenue they pay. The problem is, as you mentioned, water and electricity, and oftentimes that comes at the cost of the people living there. It says Northern Virginia Electric Cooperative serves more than 180,000 customers in Prince William County and 6 other localities, but they've raised their rates twice this year to recover the additional costs of importing power because of the data center demand for electricity. So in this case, while I'm mostly with you on denying Dominion whatever they're asking for, are we sure that that's the right thing to do here? If they can get special rates that require the data center to pay for the excess in electricity, does that not take some of the pressure off the rest of us, and potentially hopefully prevent Dominion from raising rates?
I am of the mindset with people or entities like Dominion that if you give a little,
they'll take a lot. I'm with you.
Dominion is the fox in the henhouse.
But they're in the henhouse, and there's no way you're getting them out. This is a fox that's how's this for an analogy? It's a fox that's eaten so many hens and eggs that it's too fat to get back out the door.
Jeez Louise.
I mean,
Dirty Curtis Shaver says the Lowe's in Ruckersville is way better than the Charlottesville Lowe's. Chief Kachis shoots us a text, says he's listening to the program right now from the beach. We have tremendous respect for Chief Kachis. Enjoy the vacation.
Yeah, definitely.
You've made the community a better place. Mm-hmm. I'm torn on the data center. The folks at Louisa County are saying no more data centers now.
The folks where?
In Louisa County are saying no more data centers.
Because they're probably looking at what we're looking at, and whether it's water, power, or just light pollution, or cutting down however many acres of trees you would need to fit one of these things in there. It's an imposition.
Right. Next headline. What do you got?
Earl Sears.
I mean, I want to spend... Philip Reese sends me this text message. I fully agree. He's from the escape rooms.
Oh, yeah.
Philip, we need to get you back on the program. It was great conversating with you the other day. He says, I fully agree with Judah. Residents should not have to pay higher electricity rates because of these data centers' exceedingly high use of electricity.
Yeah.
Careful with Dominion, though.
I know, but what's the alternative?
Unlocked History escape rooms are from Philip Reese's family business. Great guy. Very reasonable man. With Winsome Earl Sears, I want to spend a short time on this because this is more of a statewide headline.
Yeah.
But I think the viewers and listeners should know this. She just replaced your campaign manager. Mm-hmm. The campaign manager she replaced, this is the Republican candidate running for governor.
Yeah.
On a ticket that is in absolute shambles. The lieutenant governor was extorted by the current governor with gay sex pics and phony dating websites and phony social media accounts, burner accounts. Literally, that happened.
I don't think they were sex pics. I think
they were sex pics.
No, I think the 3 pictures that they had were him at a gay pride parade.
There were photos that were threatened to be released beyond that.
Okay.
The candidate for governor, Winsome Earl Sears, just now replaced her campaign manager. We find out the current the first campaign manager was a preacher from a church with a
pastor with no political anything.
This is ridiculous.
I think she used him thinking that he would help her win over black neighborhoods.
We are 100 days away, 110 days away from Election Day. 3.5 months.
Yeah.
And she's replacing her campaign manager after realizing her campaign manager was
Ill-suited to the
incompetent.
role. I wouldn't say incompetent. She was. It says here, Earl Sears' low-key campaign has included the focus on black churches, where some Republican operatives believed that she would win over enough Virginians to make the difference.
Jason Noble, his photo on screen. He says her campaign has been terrible thus far. It cannot get any worse. When is the last time you have seen a ticket, the top of the ticket, be this bad?
Yeah.
The governor, the candidate for governor, is going through a campaign manager fiasco. She's being outraised on the fundraising circuit. Was it 27 million to 11 million?
Something like that, yeah.
Spamberger is outraising her. What's the exact number? Is it 27 million to 11 million?
I believe that's correct.
Okay. She's replacing her campaign manager 3 months and change before the election.
Mm-hmm.
The Lieutenant Governor John Reed, his campaign was extorted by the current governor, Glenn Youngkin, because they didn't want John Reed running. They wanted a guy from Northern Virginia to run. The guy from Northern Virginia had to step aside because he got sick. So Reed, with no competition, wins the primary because there's no one to run against him.
Yeah.
This is all happening at a time where Virginia's primary voter base, Northern Virginia, is extremely anti-Republican because what Donald Trump has done with government cuts and how it's impacted every Tom, Dick, and Harry in Northern Virginia who relies on the government to pay their bills.
Yeah.
I will say this again. In November, it is going to be such a blue sweep.
Does seem likely.
And that Spamberger is going to beat Winston Earl Sears by many double-digit percentage points. Next headline, what do you got?
Is AI going to make CVille a better or worse place?
Do you have a take on this?
I have very little faith that we're going to use AI in a way that benefits enough people to say that it's going to make CVille a better place.
Wow, I disagree with you. You think artificial intelligence is not going to have an impact on Charlottesville's job market?
I didn't say that at all.
Then maybe I misunderstood you. Can you clarify what you said?
I said I don't have enough faith in the use of AI that I think it's going to make CVille a better place.
Okay. So you think artificial intelligence is going to...
I think it'll have an effect. I think it'll make some things better. It'll make some things worse.
I think artificial intelligence is going to replace a boatload of jobs in Charlottesville and Albemarle County.
Yeah.
I think artificial intelligence is going to make Charlottesville and Albemarle County more expensive to live in.
I could see that too.
I think artificial intelligence is going to gentrify this community, making it more white and wealthy.
That stands to reason.
I think artificial intelligence is a terrifying Pandora's box that is opening very quickly.
I think a lot of people are going to get fired. I think afterwards, a lot of people are going to get either rehired or their positions reopened after the brain trust in charge of a lot of places starts to realize that AI is not an autonomous. It's not a person. It requires someone who can reliably use it as a tool. And if you think that you can just replace people because now you have AI, I see that as the biggest problem moving forward. There are going to be leaders who think that, oh, we've got this brand new tool, but they think of it more in terms of a way of replacing what they have, which is paying people that work for them. And once they get rid of those people, they're going to realize you still need people to do all the things that they've always done. AI is a tool, just like mechanization, the process of building factories, still require people. Sure, you can build robots, but somebody's got to service the robots. Same thing with AI.
How about artificial intelligence impact on the University of Virginia? Viewers and listeners, have you considered this? Listen to Deep Throat's take on this. On the AI question, artificial intelligence is a major threat to expensive higher education. Artificial intelligence is bad for any city dependent on institutions of higher education that extract rents from students and parents in exchange for credentials.
Yeah.
So why don't I put that into layman's perspective for the viewers and listeners?
I can help you.
Go ahead.
So where a lot of the industrialization of the last century has hurt the middle class worker, where jobs, where you can build robots or you can build assembly lines,
factories
that require less people, or at least just require people to control the things that are working in the factories.
Or if not made in this country, they took them overseas.
The scary thing about AI is it's going to put a lot more people in jobs like plumbing and carpentry, because it's going to take away a lot of higher up jobs. It's going to take the jobs where somebody who could read a CAT scan, now you can just run the information by an AI, and once you've got it perfected enough that you have to worry less about negative, about having false positives, you're going to start getting rid of all those people. So lab techs, just any industry that's got people that go to UVA.
I think this is what Deep Throat is trying to say here. I'm going to put it very succinctly. Artificial intelligence and technology and education, a university is eventually going to become a diploma mill where diplomas are earned on screens and through internet service providers. As artificial intelligence becomes more ubiquitous and more available and more approachable, why will a student need to go to a city away from their home and spend $100,000 a year with room, board, rent, and entertainment for 4 years to get a degree?
I don't know. I believe that the problem is more along the lines of getting rid of the need for a lot of the jobs that kids would be going to universities to learn for,
or replacing the professors in totality. If you can go online and learn like we can now, my wife uses YouTube as if it was Google a search engine. So when she learns to do something, and she's very similar to you in that she is the complete opposite of me. Very good at fixing things handy likewise, manual. Her father's a mechanic. Her mom's a nurse. My wife inherited the traits of her father and her mom, in that she is very good at solving problems with her hands, fixing things. You have that skill set. I can barely screw in a light bulb. Legitimately, you know this. My job, what I'm good at, is fixing things that are problems tied to business.
Yeah.
The point we're making here is artificial intelligence. Can it replace the professor? Can it replace the institution of higher learning, where the next generation of kids that grew up with this technology get the information strictly from the internet, putting less need on an institution?
Yeah, but if in terms of jobs, those generations, those kids are still going to need some type of certificate, diploma. Uh, my Again, I see the problem being that that a lot of industries are going to start using AI and no longer needing people in some of those fields.
Or, and Deep Throat alludes to this, think about how rampant cheating is at the Darden School. If the Darden School does not get cheating in check, when do the JP Morgans and the Goldman Sachs and the Blackstones and the BlackRocks start saying, what's the value of this Darden graduate?
Well, it's far more widespread than just UVA.
Oh, it's all everywhere.
I'm reading about kids that kids in like 7th grade who are barely reading at a 3rd grade level. People, turning in all of a sudden half the class turning in papers
that are the exact same.
No, not so much that they're the exact same, but kids going from like a C or a B minus average to all of a sudden turning in all A papers. Whether or not you can prove that they're using something like ChatGPT or one of the other AI large language models, the fact of the matter is, if you're getting your essay off of write it for you, one of the other things I've read about, teachers having these same kids turning in A papers, but then when asked in class about what they wrote the paper on, they don't know anything about the topic. And not even just like don't know something about what they wrote in the paper, but literally don't know anything about what they're learning in class, because they can just run their answers, get their answers from
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Is the new classroom setting or the new way of learning or the new test, the new proctored exam, a test where the teacher is in a lecture hall and is asking students questions, and how they answer the questions determines their grasp of the material and then their grade?
Ideally.
Is the new grading system class participation? Because class participation is an example of understanding the material, where taking a test and being able to do that test in any room or any way you want with your phone in your hand is not an example of grasping the material.
I mean, I think that's a better classroom model anyways, even without the onset of AI and the problems that it brings. But I don't know that our country has the will to make that change to classrooms.
Well, then the Darden degree is what value?
That's less important to me than the fact that we're raising a generation of people that can't think.
Which begs this question: the ones that can, how far can they go? What advantage do they have?
Oh, they've got a large advantage, but we shouldn't be looking at, we shouldn't be saying, hey, great, we've got some people who are going to have a big advantage. We should be saying, hey, how can we lift up the rest of the kids?
See, you and I look at things very differently. You and I look at things very differently.
I would rather...
I look at things much more Darwinistically than you.
Yeah, and I would
You
rather,
look at things much more equitably, or through a lens
I
of
would
pursuing
rather
equitable...
mitigate the problems so that we raise children that use their minds.
See, you look at it, you would rather... See, you're a pure-hearted person than me. You look at it, I would rather mitigate the problem, and I look at it where I want to raise my kids where they can utilize the problem to their advantage. That's the difference right there. I look at it and like, how can I position our two boys in a way where they can see the playing field and take the playing field and find a way to their advantage?
Yeah.
It's a perfect way to end the show. You did a great job today, Judah. Fantastic work from Judah Wickhauer. We'll give some love to Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, 61 years of business. Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, John Vermillion and Andrew Vermillion, East High Street, online at charlottesvillesanitarysupply.com. Support the businesses you want to see make it another 61 years. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need office space in Charlottesville or Albemarle County, we are your points of contact. Office space from $300 a month, north of $2,000 a month currently in our portfolio. Let us know. Reach out to us. You know how to reach me. Somebody in City Hall sends me this text message highlighting the true dysfunction of the grand old party, the GOP in Virginia. This past Saturday, Judah Wickhauer, there was a campaign event in Virginia Beach, Saturday, July 19th. Winsome Earl Sears was at the campaign event. Jason Mierias was at the campaign event. John Reed was not invited to the campaign event. The governor, the attorney general candidates, and the lieutenant governor not invited. That's how much dysfunction is with the GOP. That's the show.
Get over yourselves, guys.
We'll see you at 10:15 a.m. tomorrow with Real Talk. So long, everybody.